Ladies and gentlemen, this man has no MMA experience at all, but he is a live television broadcast professional.
Eric Crouch tonight wins the Heisman Trophy.
He stands 6'4", weighed in 260 pounds, with a Millard South High School basketball record of 41 wins, only 4 defeats. That includes hitting the game-winning shot in the 1989 Class A state championship game.
It was Matt Kelly with the winning basket for Millard South.
Broadcasting out of Sticky Paw Studios from Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Omaha, Nebraska. Here is the Vanilla Gorilla, Matt Kelly.
Everybody, welcome inside the Sticky Paw Studios here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here with none other than Brad Garrett, actor, comedian. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
this
man.
is so cool. The swag is the best.
I know you're a huge VGK fan, and that's where I introduced myself and asked you to come on the show.
Right? You came up to me with no pants near the snack bar.
I did.
You said, "Hey, would you buy me a you buy me a burger?" No, and you were working. You're a cameraman.
I am. Both sides of the camera. So
both sides of the. Look at that.
I was an on-air guy for the first 10 years of my career, a sportscaster, and then I got fired and got hip to the freelance side, and I've been doing that ever since. So.
Now, how do you go from announcer to because knowing how to work that camera and the fastest game in the world?
Well, so all the markets I worked in. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, so I started in Omaha.
You?
Yep, okay. Omaha.
So I'm probably the first Jew you've ever spoken to.
Potentially.
Are we allowed to say that?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, good, man. Good. It's a real podcast.
Started in Omaha. I was in Des Moines, Iowa, and then finished in Lincoln. But so all the markets I was in, they were smaller markets. So even though I was on air, I still had a camera on my shoulder.
Really?
And I shot a lot of hockey, the USHL, which is one of the top junior A programs in organizations in the country. So I shot a lot of hockey, and I always shot it from ice level, right? So I was getting my highlights and then going back to the station.
That's amazing.
And so when I got fired,
shoot your own highlights.
I'd go back and edit them and everything, and then commercial break after weather before sports, I'd run into the bathroom with my shorts on during the summer.
Easy, there you go again with the no pants. So it's a pattern for you.
It is a pattern.
I see. So that's incredible. And when I saw you at the game, who were you shooting for?
I was shooting for the that game. So I shoot all the VGK games, but a lot of the times, in addition to working for the home broadcast, I'll also work for the visitors. Nice. So I'll shoot their locker room stuff. I do the backstage stuff. So that game, I was actually shooting. I don't remember what game it was, but. During a timeout, I came up to you and I said, man. Brad, you don't know me from anywhere. My name's Matt Kelly. I started a podcast. I'm doing it out of a studio owned by John Orlando, and son of Tony. And as soon as I said Tony Orlando,
that was it.
You're not that you were going to tell me to fuck off or anything, but maybe
thought about it.
Maybe.
No, I don't.
But as soon as I said Tony, you were like, John, and you're like, John did some comedy, and I was like, for 10 years.
And I opened for Tony for a couple of years when I started out, and I opened for him in the 80s at Harrah's in Reno.
It's funny you say that because I was talking to John earlier today.
Yep.
He said there's only 2 comedians that his dad ever said to him, you need to go out to the front of the house and watch his performance. And it was you and Gary Shandling.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
John said that.
I can understand Gary, but boy.
But also the openers that he's had. I mean, he said Steve Martin opened for him, Jay Leno, down the line.
Whatever happened to those guys?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Tony was great, man. He was great. He was a great practical joker.
Yeah.
He was a great practical joker, and he was a good man.
So how did you get into what you're doing?
Well, I started in stand-up,
right,
before the acting thing really took off, and I started in stand-up really early. I was doing it in high school, and it was just something that I was always, I wanted to be the jock. I had the size, and that was it.
Did you play sports in high school?
I couldn't make a layup.
Okay.
I couldn't get on the JV. I was 6 feet at 13, and it was just, and we moved a lot. So every time we moved, the coach at that school would be like, this 9-foot white guy is coming. You got it. Yeah, and I would say, I don't play. And they would always go, we'll teach you. And then they would get me out there. And then they would, then they would TP my house. That's what would happen the following day. But I was horrible in anything athletic.
Did you want to play? I mean, did you have that desire, or did you feel like because I'm 6, 7, 8, 9 that I should play?
I think it was the latter.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would have loved it because the jocks got the women.
Right.
So instead, I got a lot of men, and but it was humor, and that's how I kind of got into humor, because I was picked on a lot. And I was bullied because I was just a huge pussy, pretty much, and not in a good sense. Is it ever good if you're a big pussy? Probably not at all.
I don't know.
I guess if you're a large man, it would help. But so I just started. I used humor. So humor was kind of my thing, and I would make fun of myself before.
So self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating.
Okay.
Which is which became anger, as you recently saw, and but that was really kind of my niche, and I was like, oh, maybe this will save me from the locker room. Because I was one of the guys I really didn't, in PE, I was afraid to go into the showers, because I don't have to tell you. So I would just do like what we call a French sponge bath out on during recess. I would just put my leg up on a bench while people were having nutrition, and I would clean Area 51. So things were very different for me. A very strange kid. Yeah.
So that being said, did you? At what point did you say, I want to take this to the next level? I want to do this for a career?
Early, man, early. I mean, I was like, I'd be in the theater class, like in junior high and high school. And I just started to, I was more comfortable on stage than in real life.
Okay.
Almost like now. I mean, this is brutal for me. I think I soiled your chair. I don't. Do you rent these, or did Orlando give you these?
I think John bought them, but he can buy another one.
Bought it with the uncle's money.
Probably.
God bless him. I just saw Marvin. And
right.
I thought he was going to take me back to the bell tower, hold me for ransom. Jesus Christ, you can't get that guy something to do? I swear to God, he walked in. It's like, oh, the cast from Thriller. I was really, really excited to going to have him sign my glove. Where were we?
Just
sorry.
when you decided that you were going to take it to that.
I think it was just always in my blood. And I started early. I mean, I was doing open mics at 18 and 19 because I looked 100. In those days, everyone always thought I was older, so I was able to get into the clubs and do the open mics and really kind of work in it. I really never had much of an act, and the early stuff, if you see it, it's very pedestrian and kind of pathetic. My gift was kind of when I decided to improv and just kind of go out of my material and fuck with the crowd, which is, really what I like to do. And I learned that because I was an opening act for so many different large celebrities here in Vegas. I opened for Sinatra and Sammy Davis and a lot of the old people. Wow. And no one wants to see you as an opening act. So many times you have to learn to just kind of create shit in the moment. And that kind of led to more of an improv attack on a crowd and kind of just work in the moment and try to make something out of people. I remember I once opened for Sinatra, and people started dancing to my act. It was, I've never seen anything like, they would just, they would get up and they would hum the Summer Wind and they would just start dancing. I'm still on stage, and, Frank is in the wings going, wrap it up, baby, wrap it up, and that was years of being tortured. And then it just kind of kept swinging, going on the road, trying to change it up. And then I was on a show called Star Search in '84, believe it or not. And that kind of started a little bit of the TV exposure, and then that just led to other dates, the Tonight Show, and then I was on the road about 15 years, 20 years, and then I auditioned for Raymond. And now here I am in a fucking warehouse in Henderson.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, where are we? What are we in, Sparks?
We're in Vegas.
Where are we heading? In Vegas still? Okay. How much for the trophy?
Well, I think it was $80 maybe.
$80,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah.
And this is the actual one?
That's the actual one, yeah.
That's just beautiful.
I just
God, you
had
didn't
it shrunk
think you
down.
could And Carlson's bunghole was in this one as well. Okay.
I hope not that.
I hope this is so cool.
Did you want to do television, or was that something that just happened?
I always wanted to act. You know, I trained when I was 18. I really started training, and then there's only so much you can learn as an actor. You know, or as a stand-up. I don't think it's something you can really learn. I think it's, you know, you got the funny bone or you don't. Right. You can maybe learn how to structure or write 5 minutes, but I think. As far as classes, I think you gotta be born with something and have an instinct, and you gotta have timing. And there are some people that'll be in an acting class their whole life, or in a stand-up class for years, and it shouldn't take that long as far as finding your niche. You always want to train because it's like the gym, and to go to acting classes, you can work stuff out.
Sure.
And you know, it's a place to be bad, which is helpful. But I think acting was always in my blood. It was a natural transition for me. I think my acting chops are probably stronger than my stand-up chops. So it's something I always kind of tried to develop both.
Could you have ever imagined when you auditioned for Everybody Loves Raymond, what it would do for you, how it would change your life?
No idea.
No idea.
No idea. It was just another audition. And
which I'm sure you did plenty of, right?
Did plenty of. I just auditioned for Seinfeld like 2 weeks before to play Jerry's mechanic. It was a two-part episode. And I really wanted to read for the Raymond thing because I read the script, and they didn't see me as Ray's brother at all. And it
really,
yeah. And it took some begging to get in there. They said, "No, Ray's cop brother," because it was Ray's life. I mean, when Ray did the pilot, he was living across the street from his mom. His brother, who was a cop, who's really Richie, just moved in back with the parents, just got divorced. Ray was brilliant enough to just write what he knew. He goes, "This is my life." Yeah. And when he went on Letterman, he had a killer set. And back in those days, if you killed on late night, many times you would have, a pilot or a development deal. And Letterman had one development deal that was still left at CBS, and he gave it to Ray, thinking it would just be, a pilot, and that would be it. But when I read the pilot script for Robert, I went, God, I know this guy. I was the youngest brother. I was, the least popular of my brothers. Wow. They were always more successful and better looking and athletic and everything. I wasn't. I said, I really know this guy. And they were very polite. They said, "Yeah, Brad, we're looking for, we're looking for more of like a Danny DeVito type. We're looking for like a small, scrappy type of pit bull type of guy who's."
So how did you sell him on it?
I just said, just let me read. Just let me read. Let me come in, And I was totally, pretty much unknown except for the stand-up club world,
Sure.
And my managers at the time were really, really passionate. And they said, let him read. And they're like, all right. So I went in and I read, and it just clicked, And right. I knew that I would change my voice a little bit because I wanted him to feel like he was just a loser. Almost a whisper of death. Right. Was like, hello, Raymond. And they expect, and the script was written to where it was really, everybody loves Raymond. And I was everybody loves Raymond. Almost like it was my last words. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So it was a very different
Which is exactly, everybody loves Raymond. And I'm the guy that they don't love, right?
Yeah, it's like I'd succumb to the fact that he is the favorite.
Right.
As opposed to fighting it. I said, God, I'm going to play it like I don't love it.
But you've accepted
it. But I accept it, exactly. So it was just a different take on the writing. The writing was great, Those writers to this day, that's why the show, I think, really clicked. I mean, it had the cast clicked, of course, but it's got to be on the page. And a lot of the times it isn't. You'll see actors that are really wonderful, but it's all about the pages, man. You can't fake that.
Did Raymond push for you too? Did you have a relationship with him before that?
I didn't even know him.
You did not?
No, and he was like, not the guy from Star Search. Oh, and the co-creator of the show was like, you just got to watch his audition. He's like 9 feet tall. He's like, it's a freak show. Okay. And then And then, he just bought it. But, Star Search was a very cheesy amateur hour type of, it wasn't American Idol. It wasn't AGT. It was Star Search with Ed McMahon, who showed up every day rummied out of his mind, and didn't even, God bless him. And, he was like, "Where's the ice?" He was hitting them back. And, I was on with, but the comics that went through Star Search were, Ray was on, Dennis Miller was on, Sinbad was on, still owes me $800, a couple other people. So it was an okay show, but my act on that show was really tired and cheesy, and I just did impressions. So it came off, like a hacky act, like kind of I am today. Nothing special. It's hacky, it's fun, it's irreverent, it's not, very unwoke. But in those days, it was very, hey, look, here's Cosby before he raped people. It was very, very different type of show, And so Ray was like open to it, but not thrilled. And then he saw me read for it, and then it, just kind of turned it around. But I was the first cast member to be actually signed.
Wow.
And then they found Peter, which God was a gift, and Doris and Patty Heaton, who's, brilliant.
What's crazy about that is, I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan, right?
Oh, me too. Oh, God,
I don't know if you know this, but from what I've read, they were planning on killing Jesse off in season 1.
That's exactly
and the
right.
story was going to be about Walt White and
Yes.
And Tuco Salamanca.
That's right.
But Tuco's acting, his other responsibilities,
Yes.
kept him from being able to do that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, just like I'm sure everybody loved Raymond fans, can't imagine you not playing who you played.
Oh, they can.
You think so?
Okay. Oh, sure. They would have loved it.
I don't
Jimmy
know.
Walker almost got it. Jimmy Walker almost got it. The Black Prince! That was my first impression. I swear to God. I swear to God, when I was like graduating grammar, I was in the 6th grade. He was one of my heroes, Jimmy Walker. Yeah. And I swear to good times, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And then my dad sat me down one day and he goes, "You're not black. So take off the jean hat and the sweater.
You might be 6'9" and
some
a
balls."
potential
exactly.
basketballer, but you're not black.
Yeah, and that is an interesting thing about Jesse from Breaking Bad, who,
right.
It's like, and that's, I got lucky. There's no question. I'd worked hard, but I got lucky. And
you were in the right place at the right time.
Right place, right time. And I was, the audition really went well because, I went in there as the dark horse. The network already had a couple people in line.
You had nothing to lose.
I had nothing to lose, but I knew this guy. And it was a very different take than what they had expected, as I'm sure Jesse was, because I think you cared so much about Jesse and Breaking Bad. Yep. There was no way you could kill this guy because it would break your heart. Right. Most characters like him, you can lose because you're not invested.
You got invested in him pretty quick.
Yeah, you sure did. He was a brilliant actor.
So did you ever reach out and try, like, if you love a show, are you ever a guy that would reach out to that show and say, "Hey, man, I'm a huge fan. I'd love to come on"? Like, could you have seen yourself play a part in Breaking? I
would have loved to. I mean,
what would you have seen yourself doing in Breaking Bad? Well, who would you have been? Or
it was kind of like in Fargo. When I auditioned for Fargo for the second season, that was where it, I had a great agent there because you get typecast, and I was the dopey brother, which is fine because when you're typecast, that means you've hit on something that the TV world has accepted. Sure. So you can't bitch about it because you sound like a whiny, So I knew that was something I was going to have to reinvent and break out of. So for quite a few years in casting, they're like, "Oh no, Brad's great. He's funny. Yeah, he's we don't see him as that." So with Fargo, I had to go because it was to play a heavy mob guy, and I love doing drama, just like when I played Gleason, the network they wouldn't even let me audition. And it was a TV movie on CBS the time Raymond was on. So I thought, and they're like, "It's Gleason, but you're 9 feet tall, and Gleason was 5'10", and this will never work." And I went, let me read for the, There's been a couple shows where I've been like, boy, I'd really like to be on that. But every actor feels that way.
Sure.
And you got to be careful because they end up saying, especially to me, no. And then, then they feel shitty about it. Yeah. So sometimes you'll have your agent or manager poke around and then they'll tell you no. Yeah. So it's just a world of no. That's show business, man. It's like sports, a lot of no matter how good you are.
Well, I mean, right behind you there, that's one of the logos for your comedy club, Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. We just came out a couple of weeks ago, my fiancée Tina and I.
Did you have a good time?
We had a great time. And I knew I was going to.
You could be honest.
We had a great time.
I know Tina. Tina doesn't know this. Is it Tina?
Tina.
And I would never say this in front of her. But, about 20 minutes in, I did hear someone go, let's fucking leave. And I was like, that's got to be Tina.
You heard that.
It's got to be Tina. Because the other people you're with another person.
Yeah, we were with another couple.
I did send the authorities after both of them. Lovely people, all of them. But, when you guys came backstage, I was like, they're going to hate me, which is really how I feel about everyone.
I'm going to be in full transparency with Tina not sitting in here right now.
Yes, of course.
She really thought that you didn't remember who I was. Did you remember who I was when I came in?
When you came backstage?
Yeah.
Well, of course I had you on the list.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Before I go on, I'm in a weird headspace.
I get it.
And after the reason why I don't meet people after the show is because I'm so ashamed. So I like to get out there early. But again, there's a lot of things that isn't Tina's fucking business, and this is one of them. And because of my age,
sorry, babe. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, darling. Does she have a sister that won't go to the cops, or who doesn't know the cops?
She does have a sister. Yeah. But she probably wrong.
Some of it's the age. I hit the mid 60s, and I'm a little 60. I'll be 64 next year. But I get a little. But I knew you immediately, but you didn't have your camera.
Yep.
And but I knew you. Because I have people on a list. But sometimes before I go on, I'm like in a.
I get it. I mean, you're getting ready to perform, man, and so we were kind of in your.
You weren't in my thing at all. It was nice to have you there. It was the touching, Matt, that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, Tina was standing next to you, so I think she was.
I don't think it was Tina. No, it was Tina. I know a wiener. When I see it.
She certainly doesn't have one of those. So.
Yeah. Well, you'll know after you're married. That's when we're supposed to find out.
I liked your joke during that, though, to the young man in the front audience. You were saying, look at the knees.
Yes.
And if there's a penis hanging down in between the knees, you'll know it's a guy.
You'll know it's a dude.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
So that was one of the jokes that I remember from your show.
What are the ones you took home with you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, but it was fun to see you in your environment.
Thanks,
how much do you want to do that, and how
I love it.
You do.
I love it. Yeah, it's the only thing in our business you can really do alone. It's the only thing you don't have to wait for someone to give you a job.
And you just said, fuck it, I'm going to have my own comedy club.
I bought my own club. I built my own club.
It's fantastic.
Thank you, man.
It really is. I mean,
thank you.
The little area out front where you can relax before you can people watch, which in Vegas is the best fucking thing to do.
We have music on the weekends.
Yeah.
And, I started in Vegas in 86.
Okay.
And, the business has been good to me. I've been lucky. And I've always wanted to have a club where comics can come and work this town, because there's no audience like a Vegas audience. Not always the easiest, because they come from, some people will always kill in New York, or they'll always do great in Florida, or Duluth.
But Vegas is a hodgepodge, right?
It's the hodgepodge, man. And it's if you can do it well in Vegas, just like a lot of guys before they'll do a Tonight Show or a Fallon or whatever, or Kimmel, they'll go to Vegas to work on their 6 minutes, because it is that melting pot of everyone around the country. In Vegas's case, the world. You have people from all over the world, but it's a good, perfect demographic for who will be in most studio audiences.
Well, you know what you can't do is you can't fuck with Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, because somebody tried to do that recently.
Yes.
Joe Gorga from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah.
He got duped a little bit, right? Somebody was representing you.
He got duped. It wasn't his fault. There's imposters out there, which you really don't. I mean, if you're going to imposter someone, imposter Brad Pitt, not Brad Garrett. You know what I mean? It's like raise the bar, have some dignity, right, Tina?
Right.
Okay, she's really high. You did good.
Well, she is an accountant for a cannabis company, so that's a whole nother.
Is it really a cannabis company?
Yeah, BAM.
Oh, my God. How do you count? I mean, you don't count. Well, the good thing about it is they won't know the difference. So, it's like 2 for me, 1 for you. We've all been there. Where were we? See what I'm saying? I don't even remember
the Joe Gorga thing.
Yeah, the Joe Gorga. Yeah, what happened is there are, and people should really listen to this. It's like there are imposters out there that are looking to rip you off. And I've had this issue on Instagram. I've had it on Twitter, though I'm not on Twitter. Recently it was Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. And what happened is a comedy club, good people out of New Jersey, reached out to Brad Garrett on Facebook, not a phone call, but just reaching out to a guy claiming to be me, and actually set up a show at my club that I knew nothing about.
Which is bonkers that they can do that.
Which is bonkers. They sent the person money to do it. I mean, any comedy club that says, yeah, you could do a show, send me $900. Odd that they were in the comedy business and would think that would happen. Now,
right.
You always go through someone's agent or the booker of the club or the MGM in this case, and you're in the right avenues and you get to meet the people. And so I find out about this days before.
You're like, this is not happening.
I go, this is not happening. I didn't know these people. I didn't know and bless the person who booked. She's writing me, DMing me going, we talked several times. I go, I don't even know who you are. Why, if there's a blue check next to your Instagram, that's usually the person. You're reaching out to this guy. And the guy, God knows what his story was, but he was sending her messages like, you pay now for show.
Right.
He was talking, and I'm going, do you really think that I'm, maybe she thought that I, was missing a couple bolts that used to go right here before I did the merengue. Yes.
So if they would have gone about it properly, is that something that could have potentially happened to you?
Oh, God, no.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah, no.
So either way, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, of course. Either way, it wasn't going to happen.
Understood. Okay.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, we have a booker who's booked our club for years, and we have a roster we build off of. And, in order to work the club, you have to have a certain amount of TV and a certain amount of late night appearance,
Sure.
But it was a mess, and I felt bad for the comics, but we had to put a real halt on it. This guy was ripping off ticket money from a fake account, and people, this is the same guy. We got another email, and by the way, the authorities are going after this guy, and they're going to find him because he has a lot of different emails, and it's going to be easy to find him. But it's technically wire fraud, what he's committed.
Okay.
So now the big boys are involved in fighting this guy. But up to 3 days ago, he is still out there as me, saying, send me $200 and you'll get an audition at my club, which is really crazy.
Right.
But unfortunately, there are people who believe this, who are duped.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for that. Anyone who knows me knows I would do it for $400, not $200. I think that is an embarrassment. Okay, sorry, Matt.
No, you're good.
How much for this? Who's this? Colasar?
That's Marcia So, and that's Stone.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh God.
For $300 you can have all that.
I can have all of this for $300.
All that for $300.
I know. So
I can't give away this one. That's actually for. That's actually a glove. This
is a real glove, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and it was signed by Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson after the championship. So that belongs to my friends that are the equipment managers over there.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'll take it if I feel like it.
Okay, understood.
I'm not going to take it.
You can just wear it around when you're next time you're performing.
And I'm taking the fucking Gilligan hat too, whatever that is. Is that what Marvin wears when he comes in here with no pants and goes, "The buffet's ready. The buffet's ready. I'm only scratching because I'm." Okay.
On a serious note,
anything.
You do some great stuff outside of being a talented and funny individual.
I don't know.
You raise some money for you help out with Nathan Adelson Hospice.
Adelson,
and then your charity. Just talk about those.
I have a charity I started 17 years ago called the Maximum Hope Foundation, and we help out families that have children with life-limiting illnesses, and we help them out with daily necessities. We're the only foundation that will help them with groceries, rent, car payments, utilities.
Nationwide?
Nationwide. And within 48 hours.
Wow.
And we're able to do that because we're small. We're a small grassroots type of nonprofit. And we have 2 paid employees, and everyone else is volunteer. And actually the Vegas Golden Knights, Riley Smith, who I know we all miss dearly, put together an incredible a charity night where they played softball with the Raiders, and he wrote an incredible check to the Maximum Hope families and is helping them for the next 12 months with whatever they need. So it's pretty darn cool. And I'm on the alumni board of the Knights, and I try to help out as much as I can with their fundraising endeavors. And it's just great to have a team like that who puts so much back in the community, my man, which I can tell you do too. Well, I can tell you got a good heart.
I love people, and I love,
who don't you love? Like if you had to mention, like who do you really fucking hate? Let's give him a shout out.
I don't know if
because we all know. Don't correct me, Matt. I know there's we all know douchebags. I'm sure Tina working in the
I can name some people.
Drug lord of Henderson. Right? I'm sure. Yes, go ahead.
How did you become such a huge VGK fan? Were you a hockey fan before?
I got to tell you this. I was not a hockey fan. Okay. I knew nothing about hockey. I went to the first game.
Yeah. First one ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was hooked. And I've never been a sports guy because, as we talked about, sports was mean to me.
Okay.
And but I just had never been so wrapped up in something, and there's nothing like it live. Mm-hmm. There just isn't, and I'm still learning.
And you're a regular
about the
game.
When
you're in town, you're there.
I am there when I'm in town.
And you're not hard to miss because first of all, you're 6'9".
Right.
Second
well,
of all,
I sit down, Matt.
Right, but you come in with these fantastic outfits and jackets.
Well, that's only opening night.
Okay.
And during the playoffs.
Regular
I think it's
season
important to dress like a pimp when you support a team.
Yeah.
They go, look at the giant white guy dressed like Joanne Worley. That's usually me or Carrot Top.
Are you a Raiders fan?
It's rough. I mean, again, I have I'll tell you what it is. The shirt I wear on Sunday is the one that fits. I know that sounds crazy, but I'll go, oh my God, it's a 2X long. I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'm born and raised in L.A.
Okay.
A little bit of more of a Chargers guy, and
that's my lady's team.
Is that right?
She's from Escondido.
Okay. How's the English? Okay, good. Okay. How'd you get here? Swim or tunnel? Okay. She Mexican?
No.
Oh, she is for this joke, right? No, she's so cute. So how'd you get someone so young?
We met online.
Really? My wife's in the car. Thanks for inviting her in.
Well,
by the way, she's young. Welcome. She's in a timeout. So she's sitting in the seat like this. I went a little young because, they won't go to the cops. She's lovely. First marriage? No. Third.
Well, we're not married yet. We're engaged.
Okay.
So
okay. You have to get fucking angry, man.
Yeah, no. I'm all good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What do you love the most about what you do and still get to do now?
Meeting new people like yourself. Knowing how lucky I am to do what I love. I'm very, very lucky.
Right? Because if you love what you do, man, I when I got diagnosed with cancer.
Yep.
Sorry.
All good, baby. All good.
I was laying there, and I get like this every time because I was laying in the bed, and I've had this opportunity in front of me for a couple of years.
Yep.
I was like, what am I waiting for?
That's it.
And I don't know that this is going to change the world or anything or whatever, but I love to talk to people. I love to meet people. Have had so much support and love from everybody, but I don't know. I love telling people stories, and to me it was just like, if you're waiting for the perfect time to do something, it's never going to happen.
That's right.
But to be able to just sit down with good people and talk to them and find out what they're about. And I had Jack Eichel in here a couple weeks ago, and I mean, obviously we're going to talk about hockey, but to find out what he likes music-wise and that he's into the UFC and just his life. And
what's his music?
Eminem. What was the name of the one guy he liked? Tame Impala. I've never heard of him, so I looked him up.
Yeah.
He said that's who he likes to listen to. He says he's kind of, I don't know how he described it, but yeah, it's just interesting because I'm in the back hallways and I'm watching these guys getting ready for games and stuff, and you're watching the best in the freaking world get ready to prepare, and you're just like, yeah, right? Like during the playoffs last year, I'm in Dallas, and I'm sitting back there for 2 hours.
You're part of it for a reason. You're part of it for a reason, and you gotta remember that.
Yeah,
it's around you for a reason, and you're being an inspiration to people. Yeah, because there are people that are going to listen to you that you're affecting, and you don't even know about it, and you're doing it out of what you love. Yeah, and the point is, whatever you love, do it. I think that's the thing. And don't wait.
And again, I don't know that I'm ever going to make any money doing this, or it's going to sustain us financially. But I love what I do with the camera on my shoulder, but. But as you know, sometimes you can only be so creative with that. And like this to me is a creative outlet that I've been missing. Yeah. And I miss that from being on air where you can write your own show and you can edit your own packages. But being able to do this and sit down and talk to people and just share their stories.
You're great at it, man.
Oh, thank you.
When you did the announcing, did you have the thing where was it just like sports announcing, or was it the one-on-one like you're doing now?
I always wanted to do this. I was like when you turn on the news here in Vegas,
Roy Firestone type of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to always do. Yeah, because I feel like for whatever reason that I can connect with people.
Sure, well you can.
Well, I appreciate that, and but that's what I've always wanted to do, and so just to have this, this vehicle to be able to do it. I mean, I get to come in and put stuff up. I mean, Tina made this, and I mean, I got my Puck Cancer shirt, and this is from my top ranked people that I work, do top ranked boxing. All my crew, when I got diagnosed, they sent me.
It's great shit, man. You're loved. You're loved.
And it's a lot.
I had a Puck Cancer thing on my wrist for a long, long time. I lost my brother a couple of years ago, pancreatic. Yeah. He ran my club. We started the club together. Out of the blue.
Sorry.
And thank you. And I lost my other brother a few years before that. I'm familiar with it, but it's just, you got the right idea, man.
But at the same time, I feel super fortunate and blessed that I don't have more, negative side effects and stuff. So even though it sucks that I have it and it was not fun to hear and it's been tough for us.
Sure. Yeah. I feel fine. And thank God you're a warrior, man, which you are. And I appreciate.
I'm not going nowhere,
Absolutely.
And I feel like I'm in the perfect place to talk to people, and even for you, like you didn't know me from anywhere, and I know that when I threw out Tony's name, that was helpful and stuff, but you didn't have to come in and do this.
Well, Matt, I'll be honest, you scared me, and I was afraid to say no. I was, and the wife's in the car going, "Where are we? Why are we going to a warehouse?" So the drive was not great. But no, but sometimes you go on vibes. Sometimes you go on vibes, and 90% of the time, my vibes are pretty right because we're in a vibe business. Yeah. Any artist goes off instinct, no matter what they do, any kind of art, and you're in an art. Your camera work is an art. This is an art for you. So, we go off vibes. It didn't work out. It's 45 minutes. But this day is, this is one of the I don't do podcasts because everyone in the world calls. And when you do one, but I know no one will see this. So I'm not that way. But no, I was really, really honored and I love it. And when I saw, fucking Eichel was on it. I mean, come on. When I met him at the softball charity and, he's an incredible hockey player. Right. Not the smartest guy. He thought I was Kramer, actually. He thought I was Kramer. He's like, "Hey, I love you on Seinfeld." And I went, "Oh, I only did one episode." He goes, No, you're the guy who would walk in the door with the... I go, "Yeah, that you're not, what is it, Kramer? Kramer?" It's Kramer. I said, "How many times were you hit in the head, Jack?" And that didn't go over well. And Riley went, "Just go wait.
Go with it.
Just go wait in the car, Brad." Yeah. But,
well, it means a lot that you came in and sat down.
Brother, it's my pleasure. And anything we can ever do on our end, please let us know. Anyone you want to come to the club, they're my guest.
Appreciate that.
Just don't bring Tina.
Yep.
And
I don't know if I can do that.
yeah, I don't blame you.
I think she's a staple with me.
Baby,
so.
I don't blame you. Yeah. I don't blame you. You could just tell by the energy. The energy is a beautiful thing.
She's amazing. She wanted to be here today to be able to see it, and this is the first time her coming in. And
it's great seeing you. It was great.
Yeah, man.
At the club the other night, and you're welcome anytime. Yeah. And the acts change every week, and I'm not there a lot, so anytime keep humor in your life. Yeah. It's huge. Yeah. And anytime you want to come, let me know. Yeah. And we'll
just doing what I love,
keep doing it.
For me, this is like when I go to work every day, even though if I have a 30, 40-pound camera on my shoulder for 3 hours, it's therapeutic for me. I'm around my people.
Yeah. And you're around what you love. And that's the key, Maddie. That's the key. You want to stay with, because whatever you love never pays in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was $12 a night doing my stand-up when I started in 79.
Right.
It was $12 a night. I had 2 waitering jobs, and I didn't give a fuck because it fed me. Yep. And this feeds you, and this is...
It does.
And you need this now.
100%.
You need it, and we need it. And we need to hear it. And we need to feel it. And you know your shit. And you're smooth, brother.
Thank you.
You are smooth. This is your thing.
I appreciate it.
So enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm going to, and we're going to put it out there. And
put it out there, and let me apologize up front. I'm sorry, because you will get letters, and people will be saying things, and so just hang in there.
Right,
What's that? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I'll ping you.
Then I'll be like, Mom, that's enough. Mom,
look at my orthopedic shoes. Isn't that a great shot?
We were talking about our big feet. So you're
this
a 15,
is incredible.
16, I'm a 15.
Yeah.
So
this goes so nicely with my 2-inch penis.
Big ass
Look
feet.
how that works wonderfully. Wow. I'm so sorry. If I just said, look at this. Is this who's working the camera?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Look at you back there. Hey, I thought you were checking your TikTok, honey. I'm sorry. I didn't.
That's good stuff.
Doing that. Look at her. That's incredible.
Is there anything you'd like to,
Just thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Keep in touch.
Yeah, for
sure. Thank you for having on Has-Beens.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Well, I mean,
I'll see you at the game, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And next time, pants.
Yes,
Please.
pants. Pants.
All right.
I will do that. But Brad, thank you so much, man.
Brother, anytime.
Pleasure. And appreciate you coming out. And
good. I'm happy. I was in the area.
Yep, you're in the area.
Was getting the
now you can get back out to your lady, and
now I'll go out to the lady in the car. We'll argue for
and
another 30 minutes, and then I'll take a sponge bath, and I'll go do a show tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Brad Garrett,
love
thank
you, brother. Good thoughts.
Appreciate you very much.
Swinging.
That'll do it for this episode of Both Sides of the Camera from Sticky Paws here in Vegas. We'll see you next time.